Hey folks, so I was out here filling whey for the pigs, got our barrels right there, to do chores this morning, and I noticed something super cool and I wanted to be able to show it off. It kind of rides on, I'll also just cut this and drop in a picture of it. We found our first dung beetle the other day, big old Carolina dung beetle, super exciting. Should have the picture dropped in here, but then I also found these this morning. So you can see here on our little tree nursery, some of these leaves have these cuts, right? These are all on Nuttall's oaks, and they're this like, trying to find some of these really good, pretty uniform circles taken out, right? So what's got me so excited is those are marks from a leafcutter bee. Now, I know most people might be complaining that something is taking chunks out of their plants, right? But like, this is why we do what we do. Oaks are insanely good for native insects. And that's the reason we're putting them in, right? I'm not putting them in just because I want acorns for our pigs. We're putting them in for this reason. Like, this is what I want. And yeah, is it gonna probably slow down these little oaks? Maybe. But I've not seen any marks of leafcutter oaks any leafcutter bees the last 3-4 years, 5 years? Or was it 2018? So 4 years that we've been here. So that's just super exciting. Maybe we'll run and go look at the native bee house we've got set up and see if that's got anything. All right, folks, so I walked over to our native bee house. This was one of our first test designs before we figured out how exactly we want all the hole placement. You can see pictures of that final hole placement on the website, which I'll drop a link for in the comments. But you can see, maybe with this light, right? This hole, that's plugged up. And I've been kind of keeping an eye on that one. But then this one, same thing. And then, see if we can get it. It should be this one. It's got the same thing. I know that's not coming through. Sorry. Kind of zoomed down in a tunnel, right? So we've got at least 3. This thing's only been up for a few weeks. I don't see any sign of leafcutter ones in there. But, you know, it's hard to actually see, even if you're sitting here, hard to see back the full depth without taking a flashlight and trying to shine it in there. But that's super exciting. And I know they're going after a lot of stuff right now, but there's not as much. And we're hitting the end of when the mason bees will be out. So about June, middle of June, end of June, they'll stop and they'll go away. So whatever we get filled up with mason bee stuff by the middle to end of June will kind of be it. And then that's when the leafcutter bees I thought were supposed to come in was, you know, June, July. And I guess it is almost June, but that just seems, I mean, they do go off mostly temperature, right, too, of course. So like the mason bees wake up when it's about consistently 55 degrees, and then the leafcutter bees when it's like 70, 80 consistently. And it's been hot. It's been consistent 70, 80. So I guess that may be why we're starting to see some of that. Go ahead and pan around here and you can see some of the flowers that they're taking advantage of. This was all buttercup, and I actually kind of needed to get in here. We've got some blueberries in here, but I started to see how many flowers are coming in and just kind of let it do its own thing. But now the buttercup has mostly gone to seed, so now I'll probably come in here and knock it down and see if I can't save a few of those blueberries that were in here. There's a stake for one. Yeah, I don't think you can see that. Stake for one right here, stake for one there, and they were just these little bitty dwarf blueberry varieties. I got another stake here. Yeah, I saw a couple of the blackberries at the end were still alive and doing good. Another funny thing to point out is these thistles here, right? Prickly, horrible things. Although I do love the flowers on thistles. Beyond that, so I know most farmers hardcore struggle with thistles. I don't have a single thistle. And you can see this is where the dogs are, and you can start to see some of the grass. This is another area we actually used to, from just behind where the shelters are here, and then where you can kind of see the line of the grass. This is another spot we used to keep a chicken tractor. And finally the back corner's kind of coming back in, and we've got seedlings from where we seeded some grass starting to come up. But that's what you get when you park chickens for too long. And I mean, that was where the house was in the main yard, and then we'd let them out to the rest of the field. But yeah, they have a tendency to do that. Anywho, thistles. So we don't struggle with thistles. We don't have thistles anywhere else on the farm except the areas we don't put the pigs. So this is the garden. which, like I said, could use a little bit better management, but this isn't our produce garden, this is our perennials garden. So we've got our blackberries, we've got our willow beds up here, ones that aren't in the field, and I'll do a full video of those later. We've got hops, which again I need to take better care of and go ahead and get the trellising. We just got a little carried away. That's our smallest hops. Our big ones down there on the end, and then our hazelnuts, which are these bushes you can see in this line here, and then our actual produce, and then a ton of 3-year-old sawtooth oaks that we direct seeded and started to dig up and didn't get to it before temperatures went out. Strawberries, cabbage, kale, Swiss chard, tomatoes, peppers, another whole bed of strawberries in the back there. But Claire does all this and I do the perennial stuff. You can obviously see which one is better managed produce wise. Props to Claire. But yeah, that's it. I am pretty excited about those leaf cutter bees, and I was super excited about the mason bees too, to have moved in so fast into that. But those leaf cutters really caught my attention. And I'm like probably aiming right at the sun there. Now I'm gonna look into the sun. Well, that's all I've got for you guys this morning. Have a good day.